here, so whoever wins this game is going to go home with some hardware, and whoever loses this game is going to go home with, well, the pride of playing. Nice shot, but blocked by Powell. Mr. V now with an opportunity to try to get around Barnes. We have a 3-in-the-box violation in play, and referee Mike McCoy is going to call it. Let's see if we can catch that replay of the save from Michael Powell here. You see Castillo, he tried to go right in between those Gemini defenders, and he almost got it, but Powell barely saves it. That ball goes right off the post. And so now an indirect free kick for Team Discovery. Dan Castillo going to take it again. And referee Mike McCoy trying to get the Gemini defenders outside 5 meters of the ball. So for Charles Barnes, that means he's got to be just behind the line, as the goal area from the top to the goal line is exactly 5 meters. Let's see how Castillo decides to attack it. He tried to bounce it off a defender. Let's see where he goes with it. That was off Mr. V. Castillo with the ball. Castillo trying to get around Powell. Jessica Olaf there with the ball for Team Discovery. Mr. V now with it. 2-on-1 violation. Mr. V and Jessica Olaf. Michael Powell going to take the kick now. Powell typically plays these games uncontested. He doesn't typically have another strike force to contend with, but Dan Castillo on the other side has one of his own. So we'll see how that matchup plays out through the match. And Powell with a powerful shot over to Young. Milton Young couldn't quite react quickly enough to get on that ball, so we're going to have a kick in favor of Team Discovery. And I heard Michael Powell over here. The clip for a shoulder harness came undone. It looks like the coach is going to have to tie it back together because it actually broke off. I wonder if that happened when he and Mr. V collided. It's kind of hard to say, but we're going to have a timeout here as the Team Gemini coach tying the shoulder harness onto the handlebar. All right, let's see if Powell can stay in place. We'll have to keep an eye on that throughout the match, because if he continues to take those hard shots, that shoulder strap could come loose again. Powell, too heavy on the touch. It's going to go out of play. Kick in for Team Discovery. Castillo set to kick. Powell waiting for that ball. You can see he's got his chair opened. Castillo's not careful. Powell might try to send that one directly on goal. Nicely done by Castillo to read that pass. Castillo punches it down the floor, and it's going to go out of play, and it's going to be a kick in for Team Gemini deep in their own end. Jackson running down the floor. Nate Jackson taking on Mr. V. That ball out of play. Mr. V taking the kick. Castillo going to try to collect it. Powell's there. Nicely done by Michael Powell. Castillo with a nice turnaround. And now these two battling it out. Powell getting turned by Castillo. Castillo strips the ball away. Nicely done. It's going to go out of play. And Michael Powell's going to get called for a foul. Castillo sending the ball in. Gentle pass, it's cut off by Jackson. Mr. V coming in to cut off Powell to try to prevent him from taking that ball. Mr. V collects it, Powell hits it out of play, but Mr. V going to get called for a foul. Actually, the referee, Mike McCoy, calling it a 2-on-1 violation. Indirect free kick for Team Gemini. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the bronze medal match. So one of these teams is going to go home with some hardware. Tomorrow, Team Mercury versus Team Atlantis. Those two will face off in the championship match. We'll bring that to you at 3 p.m. Eastern. Powell sends that across to Young. Young's not going to get that. It's going to go out of play. Goal kick, Team Discovery.
Yeah, if only it had gone like between the boats. Yeah. Come on now. Watch it. Watch it.
Castillo, shot by Powell. Castillo has to just throw it out of play. Corner kick, Team Gemini. Powell trying to drive that ball through. Powell pushing hard. He's got to be careful. Nicely done, Leland Young. Pushing that ball out. Castillo off the chair of Olaf. Now Olaf has got an opportunity to move the ball down the floor, but Young stops her dead in her tracks, pushes the ball off of her guard, so kick in Team Gemini.
Come on, Zero, let's take it.
Powell, Castillo, battling it out. Castillo trying to get around Powell. Castillo strips the ball from Powell. Well done, but Jackson's there to pick it up. Jackson, ball taken away by Mr. V. Mr. V meets up with Milt Young. And we're going to get a 2-on-1 violation on Team Gemini. Indirect free kick. Team Discovery coming up here. Castillo looking to send it over to Mr. V. Powell tries to cut it off, but he misses the ball as well, so kick in. It's going to be Team Discovery's ball. The referee said it glanced off of a Team Gemini player. So Castillo going to take the kick again. Powell into Castillo. That ball last touching off of Castillo. Kick in for Team Gemini. Powell. Oh, huge spin by Michael Powell. Too aggressive on that spin. That is absolutely a foul. Let's watch that one again, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Michael Powell turning around, but he had no control on that spin, so referee is going to call that a foul every single time. Now, the act of spinning that closely isn't the foul, it's the lack of control as he was spinning that was called as a foul. Now, that ball's still in play. Referee Mike McCoy, however, says it went out. That ball looked awfully close to the touchline, but it's going to be a kick-in for Team Gemini. Looks like we're going to get a couple lineup changes. Robert Burton coming into the match for Stephen Burrows in goal. My apologies to Mr. Burrows. I referred to him earlier as Leland Young. Also coming into the match, Philip Rosenberg for Team Gemini. Coming into the match in place of Nate Jackson. Bruce Sanders. Looks like Milt Young has got something going on with his chair over here, so that's the cause for our current delay.
Hey, excuse me. Put that out the ball now. Yeah. Go ahead and sub that. Real quick, yeah. All right. It's 2.
So it looks like we're going to get a substitution for Milt Young while he's getting some work done on his chair. Coming on in his place, Ron Polk.
Okay.
I'm done.
That's close to a 2-on-1 violation. Referee's going to call it Team Gemini. Ron Polk, Michael Powell, too close together. Mr. V starts up the play. Castillo hits it out.
Green ball.
Polk sends the ball in. Castillo's there. Polk. Castillo now gets behind Powell. Dan Castillo taking on Gemini goalkeeper. Castillo's got an option. Castillo trying to get his way through the defense. Castillo working his way around, trying to get around Powell. Nicely done, Powell. Oh, and Castillo slams into Powell, and it goes out of play. Hard and heavy action going on down in the Gemini goal area. Castillo trying to go all the way across to Rosenberg. And he does. That ball gets there, but Powell is right there to try to take it away. That's a 2-on-1 violation. Cooper and Powell giving Team Discovery another chance to score. They've come close a couple times, but nothing has come to fruition yet. Castillo with a shot, and that's going to go in, but that's not going to count as a goal. That was an indirect free kick, and so it is going to be a free kick for Team Gemini. That ball needed to touch another player before going over the goal line for it to be counted as a goal. So, free kick for Team Gemini. If that were a direct free kick, that would have counted as a goal. However, once again, that was indirect because of the technical violation, the 2-on-1 violation that was called minutes earlier. And it looks like that shoulder strap from Michael Powell coming loose again. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out through the match. Powell sends it down the floor. Castillo couldn't get the right angle on it, and he's just going to hit it out of play. Bruce Sanders sends it in. Powell takes over. Mr. V, Powell trying to push through Mr. V, and he does. Rosenberg and Castillo both there, 3 in the box violation. Indirect free kick for Team Gemini coming up. Sanders. Castillo misses the ball, and we're going to get a 2-on-1 violation. Sanders and Powell. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the easiest way to kill your offense. That's committing a 2-on-1 violation in the attacking goal area. Powell misses that ball. Rosenberg now trying to collect it, but he can't keep it in play. Powell bouncing off of Rosenberg. Now he goes right around him. Powell, Castillo there defending. Nicely done by Castillo to rip that ball away, but we're going to get a corner kick. Team Gemini looking to get their first point. Looks like Bruce Sanders is going to take this kick. That's going to be a goal kick. That also could have been a 2-on-1 violation on Team Gemini, but it will be a goal kick for Team Discovery. Castillo hits that. It's cut off by Powell. Powell, Castillo battling it out down here. The pass out, Powell over to Sanders, but he can't get there in time. Now Castillo trying to get to the ball. Play continues. Advantage called. Castillo rips through Sanders, and that's the halftime whistle. There have been a couple of close moments for both sides, but neither has been able to score. We are going into halftime scoreless. You're watching the bronze medal match. Team Discovery, Team Gemini. We're live at the 38th Annual National Veterans Wheelchair Games. 20 minutes to decide the winner of the bronze medal. It is the third place match here at the 38th National Veterans Wheelchair Games. Team Gemini and Team Discovery scoreless. For Power Soccer Shop, I'm Tony Jackson. Both teams in the first half had their opportunities to score a goal, but neither was able to find the key to get past the other defense. Let's see if they change that here in the second half. 20 minutes to go here. 2-on-1 violation. Sanders and Powell. So indirect free kick for Team Discovery. Castillo gets that ball past Powell, and it goes off of Sanders. Kick in for Team Discovery. This is a good spot for them to kick in. Let's see if they can set up and get a goal here. Mr. V looks like he's going to take the kick. Rosenberg going to the far post. Castillo looking like he's going to receive that kick. Now, Bruce Sanders has to be outside 5 meters before the ball is kicked. As soon as that ball's touched, he can move in. Castillo taking the ball. Castillo looking to get past Powell. Castillo turns around. He had an opportunity for a shot. That's a 3 in the box violation. So Mr. V is going to take this kick. He's backing way up. He's off screen. See him way back there. Mr. V now charging in, taking the shot. Powell pushes it out of the goal area. Powell looking to catch up to it, and he does. Powell taking on Castillo. He goes behind Castillo, and there's Sanders. Now Mr. V cuts off Ron Polk. My goodness, lots going on over here. Polk with the ball. Mr. V now with the ball. Trying to get around Sanders. Mr. V gets around Sanders. Mr. V breaking down the floor, but he's got Michael Powell to contend with. Mr. V, nice patience, but Michael Powell gets the ball away from him. Castillo now rips that away from Powell. Nice move, Dan Castillo. Now Castillo pushing down the floor. Is he going to get that ball before it goes out of play? No, he's not. But good job by Castillo, splitting the defenders and getting that ball back down the floor. Kick in, Team Gemini coming up. Now if this game finishes the 40 minutes scoreless or even tied, we will go into overtime.
Excuse me, let's all. Watch it. Go away. Just hit it, ball. There you go.
Polk into Powell. Now Polk and Powell driving the ball up the floor together. That's a 2-on-1 violation. As soon as Polk touches that ball, he has to let go and let Powell take over. That's not what happened there, however. So Castillo will take this kick. Once again, this will be indirect, so it has to touch another player before it goes over the goal line to count as a goal. Castillo's got Mr. V to his left. Rosenberg way out of the goal area to his right. I think Rosenberg could slide closer to the far post. Substitution now for Team Gemini. Bruce Sanders coming on in his place, Milt Young.
Watch it. Watch the 3-on-1. So he needs 1-on-1.
Castillo spun and couldn't get much power on that ball. Powell knocks it out. It's going to be a kick in. Now Powell has to be 5 meters away from the ball. So he's setting up behind the line, the 5-meter line, right along that goal line there. Now Barnes could and really should set up at the near post here. He's setting up behind Powell. Mr. V's got an open space to score, so if Castillo can hit him, that's going to be a goal for Team Discovery. Let's see what happens here. And now Barnes is going to move back up to that near post position. Still, it looks like there's space between the post and Barnes. There is space down there. Let's see if Castillo can hit it. Now that ball on the wrong side of Mr. V. Powell racing to get that ball, but it's going to go out in favor of Team Gemini. Team Gemini going to substitute now. Coming into the match, Ricky Wicklin. Coming out, Ron Polk. Castillo taking on Powell. Castillo the last to touch that. Young winding up to take this kick. Milt Young gets it past Mr. V, but Castillo can just let that right out of play. Goal kick, Team Discovery. Castillo trying to pick a side to kick from. Castillo right into Mr. V. Powell's going to take that ball. Castillo clears it out. Kick in Team Gemini. Milt Young sends that ball into play. Castillo's going to take it. Castillo getting past Powell and Young, but we're going to get a 2-on-1 violation on Team Gemini. Castillo's going to take this kick again. Young's going to cut that ball right off. Wicklin going to try to take it, can't control it, goes out of play. Nathaniel Davenport in the match for Team Discovery. Castillo winding up. That ball drifting through. Powell takes it. Powell, that ball behind Castillo. Castillo trying to control and turn Powell around. And he does. Nicely done. Good move. 2-on-1 violation, though. Ricky Wicklin, Michael Powell.
Go back, go back, go back, go back. Watch it.
Castillo looking to take the kick. Mr. V at the far post. Powell looking to cut off any pass that comes through. Now Mr. V is looking to screen Powell when really he should be setting up at the far post. That ball across, Powell sends it out. So now they're going to switch things up, and Mr. V is going to kick the ball into Castillo.
Right there, right there. Watch it. Watch it.
Castillo going the wrong way with the ball. Let's see if he can turn it back around. He's got it back the other direction now. Castillo making the turn. Castillo looking to drive, and he crashes into his own teammate. kick in, Team Gemini. Castillo, nice turn. That's a 2-on-1 violation. But the Team Gemini players split off. Now Milt Young with the ball. Milt Young for Team Gemini. Mr. V in the goal area. Castillo in the goal area. That's a 3-in-the-box violation. Advantage called. Play continues. Castillo with the ball, trying to turn it back out. It's out of play. Kick in, Team Gemini. Powell, Castillo trying to get the ball behind Powell, and he does. Davenport in the way. 2-on-1 violation on Team Discovery. Powell going to try to send a shot across the area. Ricky Wickland is waiting. Milt Young waiting right behind him here. That pass down to Young. Young back up to Powell. Powell with a shot deflected by Castillo. Castillo, that ball bouncing around. Now Mr. V takes the ball. Mr. V trying to get around Powell. Nice move by Powell to back up and control the ball again. Davenport's there. That's another 2-on-1 violation. Team Discovery can't get out of their own way right now. Powell with another kick. Young's there, Castillo there to defend, and Castillo driving out of the area. Mr. V looking to clear out that right there. Also a 2-on-1 violation. Milt Young and Michael Powell together on the ball now. For those of you confused about why this 2-on-1 rule is constantly being called, if one player from each team is within 3 meters of the ball, another player from either team can't be within 3 meters of the ball. That is a 2-on-1 violation. And for those of you new to the sport, that rule was put into place to create space in power soccer. Otherwise, power soccer ends up looking like a giant rugby scrum. So it was put in place to kind of open up the floor and allow passing and more fluid movement down the floor. So if you managed to catch our 1 p.m. live stream earlier today, you heard me mention that a lot of these players, and there's a collision right there. Let's see if we can get a replay of that real quick. A lot of these players only play power soccer this one time a year at the Veterans Games, and the 2-on-1 rule and the spacing involved with that, you can see right there, Castillo going for the ball. You didn't even see Powell there. A lot of these players playing just this one time a year, and the spacing and the positioning necessary to avoid 2-on-1 violations is one of the hardest things to learn when you're playing power soccer. Now Castillo, Milt Young is there. Milt Young with a shot. Wickland could not latch onto that cross. It goes out. Goal kick, Team Discovery. So Team Gemini with a kick in. Actually, this is going to be a corner kick. Now, we're going to redo that. Ricky Wickland sends it in. That's a 2-on-1 violation. Powell and Wickland too close together there. Again, another 2-on-1 violation. And as I said moments ago, the spacing and the positioning involved and necessary to avoid 2-on-1 violations is one of the hardest things to learn as a new power soccer player. Castillo off of Mr. V. Now, there's a huge hit on Mr. V by Powell. Castillo tries to keep the ball in play, and he does, but he couldn't keep it in long enough. Kick in. Team Gemini coming up. Now, I'm not a fortune teller, but I'm predicting that as time starts winding down here in the second half, you're probably going to see heavier contact as teams become more desperate to score. Again, bronze medal on the line here in this match. So both teams fighting for some hardware, and only one of them is going to come away with some. Now Castillo is looking to take a shot down the floor, waiting to read that ball from Powell. It goes all the way across. Young's not going to be able to get to it. Castillo sends that right into Powell. Oh, and Powell gets hooked by Davenport. Lots of heavy collisions going on here. My goodness. Direct free kick for Team Gemini coming up. It looks like Steve Burrows coming into the match for Nathaniel Davenport.
I don't know anything about that problem.
Not quite sure what the delay is here. Oh, it appears that Team Discovery only has 3 players on the floor at the moment. That's what we're waiting on here. Jessica Olaf back into the match to round out the Team Discovery lineup. Powell. Castillo cuts that through the Team Gemini attackers. Now Castillo with the ball. Castillo looking to take on Powell. And there's a little bit of a collision. Nice strip by Powell. Castillo takes the ball away from Powell. Powell gets the ball back. Castillo, nice turn. Good control there by Powell. Castillo with the ball. Castillo trying to get around Powell now. Good battle, but just an errant touch by Michael Powell gives Team Discovery the kick in. Castillo sends that ball to Mr. V, but Powell takes the ball away. Powell trying to get around Castillo. Powell, nice spin move. That ball ricochets back and forth between Castillo and Powell. And it bounces off of Powell for a kick in. Now, Powell has been prone to making those spin kicks throughout this competition, and that time that was a good spin kick. Unfortunately, it didn't take the bounce that he wanted it to. Powell with a shot off of Castillo. Now Powell takes that ball again. Can he catch it? Yes, he can. He's trying to go behind Castillo now. That ball still in play. Young, the pass to Powell. Now Young is waiting behind Powell. Can Powell pass it back up to Young? Oh, Powell loses control of his chair. Castillo with an opportunity to get the ball out of the area. It looks like Powell couldn't control the ball, so a kick in for Team Discovery. Powell off of Mr. V. Powell needs to be careful. Mr. V, nice strip. Powell trying to take on Mr. V. Ball out of play, kick in, Team Gemini. Powell looking to go across. Let's see. Jackson's there. That ball going to be behind Jackson. Mr. V takes the ball away. Mr. V going to try to circle around and keep the ball in play. That ball's still in play. Oh, referee Mike McCoy says it went out. Castillo waiting for that kick from Powell to come through. Castillo with a 180 spin kick, he just misses. And now Jackson with the ball. Jackson turning the ball, keeping it in play. That ball rolling along the touchline there. Castillo driving, Young driving. Powell's there, that's a 3 in the box violation. Advantage called, play continues. Castillo trying to crash through the Team Gemini defense. Can Team Discovery score? Castillo pushing, trying to get through the defense. He should try to go around the defense. Castillo still has the ball, trying to get around Young. Can Castillo score? Castillo breaks through and scores for Team Discovery. Let's watch that again, ladies and gentlemen. Nice patience by Dan Castillo. He pulled that ball away from the defenders, worked his way through, scored a goal. Team Discovery 1, Team Gemini 0. Nice work by Dan Castillo. Now Powell couldn't come in to defend. That would have been a 3 in the box violation. So he had to let his teammates defend. And Castillo with some great ball control scores a goal. And now Powell looking to get one back here. Can he equalize? Powell, Castillo with a 180 spin kick. Jackson can't keep it in play. And there's the final whistle, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Castillo in the final moments of the match win it for Team Discovery, and they will go home with the bronze medal. Fantastic match, back and forth action for 40 minutes. And Dan Castillo comes through for the victory. And so now Team Discovery going to go through the team handshake and then receive their bronze medals. And we're just going to keep it right here for the bronze medal presentation, ladies and gentlemen. And I have to say that was one of the more exciting matches that we've seen this week. Again, both teams had their chances to score. Extremely back and forth all throughout the match. And Dan Castillo at the very end, scoring the winning goal. So again, we're just going to keep it right here for a few moments. And representatives from Permobile will present Team Discovery with their bronze medals.
I think the other team didn't have their time in official. Let me see the time sheet. Hey, I think the other team don't get their timing. Do you hear me?
And now the bronze medals being awarded to Team Discovery, Dan Castillo. The goal scorer, scoring the game-winning goal for them, Mr. V, who was fantastic all throughout the week. Great ball control from Mr. V. Really does well keeping that ball on his chair. Robert Burton receiving his medal. Steve Burrows. Philip Rosenberg receiving his medal. Nathaniel Davenport now receiving his medal. You can see Jessica Olaf very excited to be awarded the bronze medal. So again, even though this is the third place match, it's always a great feeling to come home with hardware. Ladies and gentlemen, there is your third place team. Team Discovery going to take home a bronze medal. And with that, we will wrap up this evening's live stream. We will be back tomorrow, 3 p.m., Team Mercury, Team Atlantis, playing for the gold medal. We hope you can join us then. So until tomorrow, one more time from the Orange County Convention Center, you're watching the 38th Annual National Veterans Wheelchair Games. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.